Let's start with Superfast 50. Prime Minister Modi was showered with flowers by BJP supporters and locals as he held a mega roadshow in pole-bound pole-bound state Karnataka. The roadshow was held in the Mandya district of Karnataka. Addressing a rally in Mandya district, Prime Minister Modi said while Congress is busy digging graves for Prime Minister, Modi is busy enhancing lives of the poor with Vikas.
डबल इंजन सरकार के इन प्रयासों के बीच कांग्रेस और उनके साथी क्या कर रहे हैं? कांग्रेस ने तो एक काम लिया है सर पे। कांग्रेस मोदी की कब्र खोदने का सपना देख रही है। कांग्रेस मोदी की कब्र खोदने में बिजी है और मोदी बेंगलुरु मैसूरू एक्सप्रेस वे बनाने में बिजी है। कांग्रेस मोदी की कब्र खोदने में व्यस्त है और मोदी गरीब का जीवन आसान बनाने में व्यस्त है।
Addressing a rally in Karnataka's Mandya district, Prime Minister Modi said that in the last few days, people have been busy talking about Bengaluru-Mysuru Expressway. The people of India want such modern and splendid expressway across the country.
बेंगलुरु और मैसूरू दोनों कर्नाटका के महत्वपूर्ण शहर हैं। एक शहर को टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए जाना जाता है तो दूसरे को ट्रेडिशन के लिए। इन दोनों शहरों को आधुनिक कनेक्टिविटी से जोड़ना कई अलग-अलग दृष्टिकोण से बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
Another incident of stone pelting on Vande Express was reported from Bengal, in which window panes of a coach of the high-speed train was damaged. This is the latest incident to have happened where attack on the Vande Express was reported. In a major development, the widows who had been protesting over last 10 days against the Rajasthan government have now been traced. Manju Jat, who was allegedly beaten up by the police, is now in detention at her own residence. The MHA has sought a report over Prime Minister Modi's security breach in Punjab last year. When the security breach was reported, a Congress government and now the AAP government is leading the state under Bhagwant Mann, who will have to reply to the report that's been sought by the Ministry of Home Affairs. A row has erupted over dance performances during the Holy Milan function that was organized in New Delhi Bar Association on the premises of the court. The Delhi High Court, meanwhile, has termed the dance inappropriate, but President of New Delhi Bar Association defended the event and claimed that it was a decent program. BRS leaders and party cadres staged protest against the BJP Telangana chief Bandi Sanjay over his derogatory remarks on the BRS MLC and daughter of the Telangana Chief Minister KOHLI. The party workers staged protest in the state and also in the national capital, demanding an apology from the Telangana BJP chief. Meanwhile, BRS MLC and Telangana Chief Minister's daughter KOHLI arrived at her residence in Hyderabad after being questioned for nearly 9 hours in the Delhi liquor case. She has again been summoned by the central agency on 16th of March. The central government, meanwhile, opposed plea seeking recognition of the same-sex marriage before the Supreme Court of India, saying that same-sex relation cannot be compared to Indian family concept of a husband and a wife and children born out of the union. And in more news coming in from across the country, Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Mann, has accused the BJP of not being a well-wisher of the state, claiming that the state did not find a mention in the union budget. Major development in connection with Umesh Pal murder case that has been reported according to sources. Special team of UP Police and STF has been sent to Gujarat to interrogate ATIQUE, who is lodged in the Sabarmati jail. A police team from Prayagraj and the state task force team has left for Gujarat. The AIADMK General Secretary Palaniswamy took a jibe at the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and claimed that the DMK's intentions to obliterate the faction led by AIADMK leader O. Pannirselvam would be futile. The budget session of the Parliament is set to resume on 13th of March, while the focus of the second part of the budget session would be on demand for grants and passage of the union budget. The government is also likely to bring in legislation for the passage in this part. Meanwhile, leaders of like-minded opposition parties would meet the leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha before the start of the second half of the budget session. In addition to this, Congress MPs are to meet at the Congress Parliamentary Party office in Parliament on Monday to chalk out the strategy ahead. Ahead of the second phase of the annual budget session, Vice President DHANKHAR has called for an all-party meeting today. BJP's IT in charge Amit Malviya meanwhile attacked Mamata Banerjee-led West Bengal government over deaths related to adenovirus infection. He's claimed that over 140 children have died due to the infection and that no pediatrician is part of the state task force. The West Bengal government led by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has constituted an 8-member task force to supervise the works related to controlling the adenovirus cases in the state. Meanwhile, BJP MP PRAGYA Thakur slammed Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over the latter's remarks in foreign soil. The BJP leader Thakur termed Gandhi's remarks as shameful and lambasted him for saying that democracy is dead in the country. The Election Commission meanwhile said it had introduced the facility to vote from home for people above the age of 80 years and those with disabilities in the upcoming assembly elections in Karnataka. And in more news coming in from across the country, a case has been filed against 6 people, including the AIADMK Interim General Secretary EPS, for allegedly attacking a passenger who raised slogans against Palaniswamy at Madurai Airport. Further investigation has been initiated. Meanwhile, narco terror bid from Pakistan was foiled by the Indian Jawans in NOWSHERA LOC. The security forces also recovered heroin, 2 pistols and 1 ID during the searches. Union Home Minister Amit Shah meanwhile attended the 54th annual Raising Day celebrations of Central Industrial Security Force. Arrived in the city on late Saturday evening. The event is to be held at the National Industrial Security Academy today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah would be visiting Kerala today, during which the Home Minister would be addressing a rally besides attending other programs. The Home Minister would also address the Jan Shakti rally at the Temple Ground in the evening in Thrissur. Meanwhile, a red notice has been issued to Makat over the kidnapping and killing of a person identified as Kareem in 2006. The notice was issued by the Interpol officials who traced the location of the accused to Saudi Arabia, who's now been extradited to India. The RSS has now begun its national executive meeting being held in Haryana. The meeting, which starts today, would end on 14th of March. BJP National President JP Nadda and Party National General Secretary are also participating in the RSS meeting. Meanwhile, a miscreant was allegedly shot in the leg and his other associates were injured in a brief late-night encounter with the UP police in Mainpuri area. According to police officials, 2 motorcycles, illegal arms and cartridges as well as jewellery was recovered from the miscreants. M. Sivasankar, the former Principal Secretary to the Kerala Chief Minister, was on Saturday night admitted at a government medical college after he complained of uneasiness. Sources said that he's been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, which is probing an alleged violation of the Foreign Contribution Act in the Life Mission scam. On the anniversary of the Dandi March, Prime Minister Modi paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi, saying, and I quote, "I pay homage to Bapu and all those who took part in the Dandi March. This was an important event in our nation's struggle for independence." Efforts are on in full swing on the 8th day to contain the raging forest fire in Goa by the Indian Air Force and other arms of the forces and authorities in a bid to douse the flames. According to the Indian Air Force, a total of 47,000 litres of water has been dispersed by the IAF over the afflicted area. And in more news from across the globe, China named its new cabinet on Sunday at the annual session of the parliament, marking the completion of the government reshuffle. Member of the all-powerful committee was chosen as the vice premier along with Le Feng, who was being promoted from the head of National Development and Reform Commission. In order to deal with the waves of illegal migrants crossing its borders from Europe and arriving in boats across the English Channel, the UK government on Friday said that it would pay $576 million over the next 3 years as part of a deal with France to combat illegal immigration. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak are set to unveil a plan on Monday to outfit Australia with nuclear-powered submarines in an unprecedented three-way defense partnership to counter China's attempts to achieve naval dominance in the Indo-Pacific region. Indonesia's Mount Merapi, one of the world's most active volcanoes, erupted on Saturday, spewing out smoke and ash that blanketed villages near the crater. The authorities have halted tourism and mining activities on the slopes of the country's most active volcano. Meanwhile, 4 space station astronauts left the SPACEX capsule after returning to the Earth, having finished their mission. The capsule splashed down in the Gulf of Mexico just off the Florida coast near the region. Meanwhile, several streets in Californian country flooded on Saturday as the state struggled to deal with drenching rains and rising water levels. Meanwhile, protesters gathered in Tel Aviv on Saturday to demonstrate against a contentious plan to overhaul the judiciary as the Israeli government pressed ahead with the plan. 3 former organizers of Hong Kong's annual vigil in remembrance of the 1989 crackdown on the pro-democracy protests were jailed on Saturday for a 4.5 months after they were convicted for not complying with a national security rule. A blazing fire on Saturday night engulfed a 16-story building in Karachi's main artery region, resulting in injuries to 1 person. More than 12 fire tenders rushed to the spot to douse the flames. A decade after Argentina's George Benjuolo became Pope Francis, a large group of his most fervent followers gathered to celebrate his 10th anniversary at the iconic Catholic temple of Our Lady of Luján. And in news from the world of sports that's just coming in, Virat Kohli making an incredible comeback after 3 years, 3 months and 21 days with his 28th test century on day 4th of the 4th test against Australia in Ahmedabad. Meanwhile, Indian batter Shreyas Iyer has been sent for scans after he complained of pain in his lower back following the 3rd day's play against Australia in the 4th test match. And in more news from sports, Indian middle order batter Cheteshwar Pujara completed 2,000 runs in the Border Gavaskar Trophy on Saturday. After Shubham Gill stepped out of his crease and hit off spinner Nathan Leon for a 6-over mid-off in the last over of the day on Friday, Captain Rohit Sharma walked up to him and gave him a pat on his back. Apparently, Sharma, who was never taken a backward step himself while batting, was surprised at his young colleagues' devil-may-care attitude. Defending champion Liga SPACEX Indian Wells Open campaign began on Saturday with a victory over American Claire Liu. The top seed and world number 1 won the number 1 first 11 games of the match, easing to victory in less than an hour. Back in action at an ATP Masters 1000 event for the first time since Rune beat 5 top opponents to win the Rolex Paris Masters last November, Holger Rune picked up where he left off with a convincing win against American McDonald in Indian Wells. India's challenge in the men's singles at the Singapore Smash 2023 ended in the first round after Commonwealth Games champion Sharat Kamal and Ganishkaran suffered defeat in their respective matches at the Singapore Sports Hub on Saturday. India's Ankita Raina defeated Ratuja Bhosle on Saturday to set up a singles title clash with top seed Brenda in the KPB Trust ITF Women's Open in Bengaluru. Meanwhile, Uzbekistan booked their place in the semi-finals of the AFC U20 Under-20 Asia Cup with a penalty shootout win over Australia on Saturday. And it's time for the motorsports fans in India to steer their attention back on the streets of Mumbai as Oracle Red Bull racing team returns to India after 8 years of gap.